What's up, y'all? So basically what we're doing in this video is we are going to give you a little bit of an update on why we've been gone. But first, let me introduce to y'all my girlfriend, McKenna. She is basically the brains behind everything. She does the videos, she videotapes when I can't. I'm basically just the guy working on the cars, putting things together. So she's the talent in this whole organization. And so yeah, McKenna, tell us why we have been gone.
So as many of you guys know, we are college students. So that's definitely a task all by itself. But then also in December, our German Shepherd had a litter of puppies. So it came to us tackling school and taking care of our puppies on top of everything else that life just has in general. So it kind of was a lot for a little bit, but we just let our last puppy go to his new home today. So things will get a little quieter now and let us kind of fall back into our usual
normal way of life.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll get a little more consistent, I guess, with our content and everything, just because we don't have as many things on our plate right now. So Shiloh will tell you guys kind of where we are gonna pick up from where we left off.
So basically where we left off with the Charger is we were taking everything that was essential to running the motor off and replacing it. So what I mean by that is water pump, fuel pump, the steering box was leaking pretty good. Every time we moved the car, there was a giant puddle of power steering fluid on the ground. So we got that off. We're gonna go through spark plugs. I know that we took them off, cleaned them up. We're gonna go ahead and replace those. Valve cover gaskets are gonna get replaced. Basically the easy things to replace on the outside of the motor is getting replaced. We plan on driving this car. We plan on doing a lot of fun stuff with this car, as y'all will see. So basically, a big holdback has been, I mean, like she said, school, these puppies. I mean, it's been crazy. We've been living in a house with a herd of puppies and it's almost impossible to do that with school. So another big thing is parts. So we had a really big, really hard time finding a steering box for that car. They were either super expensive or you couldn't get them. But we finally got it. We ordered one, came in last week. It was the wrong one. We sent it back and then they got us the right one. So we actually have every part we need now. So we've already been working on the Charger. We already have this video going. So guys, stay tuned. Go watch our YouTube videos, like and subscribe it. Guys, there's a lot of cool stuff coming, so what do you think?
Nothing to it but to do it.
There ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. We got the Charger back inside. Now we're gonna tackle the water pump. My plans were to go ahead and flush the whole coolant system, and I figure while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and be safe. It's not that hard of a job, and replace the water pump. So let's stop talking, let's get to work. Okay, so we finally got everything taken apart on the front of the engine. A little scary looking now that it's all disassembled, but next we're gonna jump in here, and if you look right there, my steering box needs to come out also. I got power steering fluid all over the place. Every time I move this thing, it leaves a giant puddle. And then after that, we're also, if you look right here, that's the fuel pump. Again, now that everything's taken off, it's a lot easier to access these parts. So while everything's off, I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. It's not bad, it works, but we do plan on driving this car. So I want everything new. I want everything to be reliable. You know, I plan on driving this car a good distance. That's a little surprise we have for y'all. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead, get it replaced, get the water pump replaced, alternator replaced, steering box replaced, fuel pump replaced. Make sure it's all clean and nice, put it back together. It's gonna be sweet. So let's go ahead, get underneath this car, get that steering box taken out. What's up, guys? I am back. It has been a while since we did the last video, since we took the steering box out. It was a pretty big task to go ahead to find a steering box. I was not expecting that. Everything else, actually I found pretty quickly. Most everything actually came from O'Reilly's. So we got our new water pump, fuel pump, thermostat housing, thermostat, an alternator, and we also got some gaskets. Like I said, we're really just wanting to go through everything, make sure everything's sound, everything's leaking, or nothing's leaking. But yeah, I do apologize for that, but we do have the parts now. Our steering box should be in tomorrow or the next day, according to the shipping, tracking shipping thing. So yeah, but just a little update on where we were. So we did get the steering box out. We actually wound up having to take all the spark plugs back out, pull the header off, disconnect from the exhaust. It was a little bit of a task, especially doing it by ourselves. But now the plan is all of these parts need to be cleaned up and painted. I want everything nice. This is the old steering box. I have to send that back for a core. But I'm going to, as you can see, that's the new water pump. And this is just the housing, I guess, for it. So I'm gonna clean up the housing, get it painted. We also have some alternator brackets that we are gonna get cleaned up and painted. Like I said, we want everything looking really nice. So let's go ahead, get these parts cleaned up on the wire wheel and get them painted. So we finally got the parts painted. Actually, it is the next day. We would let them sit overnight and dry. But another exciting thing is we did get our steering box in. As you can see, it's the exact same one. Super pumped about that after all the struggle we had getting one. So now it is time to get the hood open and get everything put back in it. So there's a lot of work to do. We have a water pump, fuel pump, steering box. We're also gonna rig up some gauges. So, you know, I don't want it overheating. I want to make sure I got the oil pressure I need. None of the gauges in the car, at least temperature oil wise, work. So I went and bought some aftermarket gauges. We have everything we need now. I have all the parts. So let's stop talking and let's get to work. hard. We got a lot of stuff done. So I know I missed a couple things videotaping, but as you can see, basically the whole front of the motor's on. So we got our brand new water pump on, brand new alternator. As you can look in here, fancy old steering box. We got a thermostat housing, a new thermostat in there. Let me think. Oh, we got the plugs for, this is like the heater hose. So what we're gonna do next, actually, well, the next thing I'm gonna work on at least, is I bought a fancy set of gauges from O'Reilly's. So hopefully those are gonna work out, but we're gonna go ahead and rig those up. We are also going to pull these valve covers off. I noticed this one was leaking in the back. So, and you can tell they're a little nasty. This whole motor's a little gross. Guys, you might be asking, why am I doing all this? Let me talk to you. Why am I doing all of this? Why am I making some of the parts look nice and the rest of the motor kind of looks like crap? The main reason is, I don't have the money to rebuild this motor right now. So basically what my goal is to replace everything on it. And that's like, it's really important. That's, you know, easy to get to. So we can drive it for now. And then the plan is to kind of save up. That is why we need you guys to like and subscribe to this channel, because the more support you give us, the bigger we're gonna grow and the cooler things we can do to this car. I do want to pull this motor out. So we did figure out that it is actually not the numbers matching motor. It is a 383, but it's not original to this car. And another thing I actually figured out is I was watching a bunch of videos, and Chrysler, as you can see, they, which showed me that, this also kind of showed me that the motor had been out and someone had been working on it, is when they paint this engine bay, they color match it. So as you can see in here, it is the same color as outside the car, but obviously something happened here. My best guess is the motor blew. They yanked it out and they sanded everything down, painted it, put everything back together, and threw a different motor in there. Which, I mean, it kind of sucks, but it also is kind of sweet, because that just, you know, if this was the number matching car or numbers matching motor, we didn't really have much of a choice. We had to go back original and, you know, do everything the way it was supposed to be done. But now that I know that it's not the original motor, we can build up maybe a 440 or maybe even possibly get a Hemi, like a 426 Hemi. I know they're pricey, but again, guys, support, because you know, the more support we get, maybe a Hemi is possible. And maybe have a big blower or something come out of the hood. Y'all let me know. What would you like to see? But as of right now, we're just getting it running, getting it reliable. You know, like I said, it's not the original motor, so worst case scenario, we drive it, something blows up, you know, it's not that big of a deal. We actually have a 440 back in Oklahoma that might be the right candidate for this car. So anyway, got majorly off track right there. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, valve covers. So the next thing we are going to do, what's up? Say hi.
Hi.
Aw, that's my beautiful girlfriend. The next thing we are going to do is get these valve covers off, replace the gaskets, and then we're gonna wire up our gauges, temperature gauge and our oil pressure gauge. So I don't know, so we have an idea what's going on. So when we start driving it, we don't have to worry about anything. I actually do want to drive this thing back to Oklahoma eventually. So that is the plan. But for now, I think we are going to wrap it up for the night. Someone's wanting to get me inside for dinner, so we will see y'all tomorrow. All right, guys, so it is the next day here. We're going to get back underneath the hood of the Charger. Next, we are going to replace the valve cover gaskets. I noticed from the video when we got this thing running that the driver's side towards the back was leaking pretty good. So again, we're just gonna go ahead and replace it, make sure we don't have to worry about it. So we're gonna get those valve covers off. We're gonna actually bring them to the car wash, pressure wash them, make sure they're all clean and pretty, and get the new gaskets on, and that should take care of that problem. So let's stop talking, let's get to work. so we got those valve covers off, and we've actually already been to the car wash, and I just wanted to show you how they turned out. They are super clean. If you can remember, they were super gunked up and just nasty, and we went and pressure washed them, and they turned out really nice. And then I also wanted to show you guys what it looked like. So this motor is super clean. I have a feeling that this was rebuilt. So if y'all remember, like I said, this isn't the numbers matching motor for the car. So I have a really good feeling and bad feeling, good feeling, I don't really know what it is, that they blew up their original numbers matching motor, pulled it out, cleaned up everything, painted it, and then they built another 383. Again, it's got a aftermarket Holley intake on it. It's got long tube headers on it. I have a beautiful girlfriend. It's just a great day. Both sides look super clean, and we're pumped about that. So I just wanted to show you all that before we threw the valve covers back on, but let's get back to work. So it is a few days later since we did the valve covers. My loving parents came and visited us all the way from Oklahoma, so we spent a few days hanging out with them, and we actually got some work done on the charger while they were here. So they helped me out. We got the fan shroud in. My dad is very good with fiberglass, so there's a few cracks that we got patched up, got it painted, we got the fan on, all the belts on, the entire front of the motor is on and ready to go. We actually went ahead and installed our temp gauge. So we got the gauges mounted in the car. Let me show you all that real quick. They look super good. They were pretty much at they were the perfect size for what we needed. You know, I didn't want some big bulky gauges, you know, that were just always in the way. So I got the smaller ones. They fit really nice under the dash, and I think they'll work out really well, hopefully. So we got that done. Whole motor's on, basically everything's ready to go. I don't know if I told you guys, but my original steering box, which is right here, the pitman arm was a different size. The splines on it were a different size than the new one I got. So I had to order a new pitman arm, which we got in. I've already checked it. It is the right size, so we're good there now. So we have the pitman arm to do. I want to rig up the oil pressure gauge now. So pitman arm, oil pressure gauge, and then I still haven't connected the header to the exhaust. So we got that to do. And then guys, I'm pretty sure that's it, unless, you know, there's just something I completely forgot. I've been over the motor a few times already, and that should be it. So I say, I'm super excited to get this thing back on the road. It's been up on stands here for a while now. Obviously, it's been a while since we posted our last video. A lot of things going on. So guys, I'm super excited. We're just gonna go ahead and knock these last things out, get it back on the ground, and let's hopefully we can bring it for a drive. So let's go. So after a ton of work, after a lot of patience, after a long time, I know you guys have been waiting for this, I think it's time for that first start. We got all the linkage hooked up, got my gauges all hooked up, and hopefully there's not gonna be any leaks. I don't know, I've been over the motor a few times, and I think it's time to pop the garage door open and get that first cold start in a while. So let's do it. good. Started right up. See if our oil pressure gauge is working. Looks like we got about 75 pounds of oil pressure, which is sick. And looks like we gotta wait for our water temperature to heat up a little bit, see if it's working. So that's awesome. All right, y'all, so as you saw, we got the Charger running, started right up, runs really great, love this car, but we do have an issue. It sucks, but I'm very lucky that we went about this the way we did. I'm very happy that we made the decisions that we did. While I was waiting for the car to warm up, I was watching the temperature gauge and I noticed I have a 185 or 195 thermostat in the car, which means that it should be stopping there. And watching the gauges, it did climb up past that, and we had a little bit of coolant overflow. As you can see, we have I've cleaned up a little bit, but we have a pretty decent amount of coolant on the ground, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It was kind of one of the things I was really kind of crossing my fingers with and hoping, you know, that it wouldn't happen, but I will show you guys here. If you look at the bottom of this radiator, there is quite a bit of stuff going on, and as you can see, it's actually wet. And this car, keep in mind, the car was sitting for a long time, but when I pulled the water pump off, I did notice it had a little bit of buildup in it, which we got really clean, you know, did it right, got everything put back on. But one of my big concerns that I was hoping wasn't happening was our radiator being clogged up and it wasn't able to move coolant like it's supposed to. And I was kind of crossing my fingers. My plan was to, if it, you know, keeps temperature like it's supposed to, I'm going to, you know, do like a water flush for it, probably 3 or 4 times, get everything out there. And I was gonna take a pressure wash to the radiator, bring it to the car wash, pressure wash that radiator out, do coolant flush probably 4 or 5 times, and hopefully it's gonna be good after that. But my best guess is that radiator is so clogged up, it's not moving the coolant like it needs to. It didn't look like it was, at least in my opinion, and it's just heating up, which sucks. But again, I'm very, very grateful that we decided to do these gauges, because if I wouldn't have, we would have brought it on that test drive, it would have overheated and potentially blown a head gasket or done something worse. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very happy that I had those gauges to watch, but it sucks because we've done all this work, and I was really, really excited to go on the first test drive of the Charger. But it's better to be safe than sorry. These old cars, they throw challenges at you, you know, all over the place. If it's not one that you fix one thing, another thing comes up. So luckily we did do what we did. Everything's basically brand new on that motor now, except for the radiator. And I actually did call, we have a radiator guy here in town, called him. He said, yeah, pull it out, bring it to the shop, we'll get you hooked up. So, which is awesome. But guys, that's probably gonna be it for this video. I'm sorry, you know, I really wanted to get you all on that first drive, but it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen. And I don't wanna wait any longer to get this video out. So again, we are sorry it's been so long. As we said in the beginning of the video, there's been a lot of things going on, and it's just kind of put a hold up on our life for a little bit. But guys, there's a lot of new things coming on. This radiator will be out today. I'm still working on this car every single day to get y'all the content that you want to see. So I'm gonna get this radiator pulled in the next video. We're gonna get it going. All right, guys, you stay tuned. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, because this thing will be driving in the next video. The radiator should be it, and if it's not, I will work my butt off to make sure this thing's on the road. We actually have a couple new updates with our house and a new shop. So there's gonna be a lot of new information on that in the next video. We will be driving this next video probably to our new shop. And just working out the bugs on it. So guys, a lot of cool stuff coming in this channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said, it's gonna be a crazy ride. So we got a lot of things planned that y'all don't want to miss out. So hit us down in the comments below what you think we should be doing with this car next. We have a lot of plans, but we would love to be, we're all ears on what y'all think should happen with it. So Again, we love y'all. Appreciate the support, and we will see you next time.